8th, 2024. I'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call.
Carol Carey.
Chuck Lasson.
Amanda Tuesday.
John Marr.
Laura Robertson.
Linda Choquetti.
And welcome our new member, or soon to be new member. It didn't take very long, but
I'm sorry.
okay. The minutes from last time, people have any comments on them?
It says Ms. Carey noted she has spoken to schedule 2 more treatment this fall. No.
That's with the highway department.
Was that Jeff?
I think Jeff does.
No,
It was probably supposed to be Mr. Corbett.
I think so, because I'm not,
no, I think you were just saying, commenting
Oh.
that we did one.
Oh, Jeff isn't even
Okay.
there.
And we
well,
did-
maybe
You actually
maybe it
posted
shouldn't be
3.
say she, maybe,
Oh,
the council is,
Yeah.
yes. Maybe I was speaking out of turn, it's like.
No, I think we were just doing calculations of time and period,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I think you hinted at 3 and we
We
decided to cut
to,
that to
okay,
be same and be 2.
yeah, maybe if we say the council. it's
Yeah.
not big deal. And then the only other one was, line 58, it says Ms. Carey stated she would send it along, this is the master tree plan, along with her list of information that is needed. I never had a list of information. I had never pulled one together, so I would just stop it. I would send it along, period. Which I did do, but I didn't have any list, so. But.
Well, since you're commenting about the place where you're listed, I'm going to comment on line 26. Maybe I was here to raise the issue, but I don't think it's really me that reported that. Because Laura and Jeff wasn't here. Sorry?
Yeah, you think that was me? Yeah. You think it was?
Yeah. You,
So just same as Robert.
You're the one that wanted to make it.
Yeah, because they couldn't get it because of the roots.
I guess I said, anyone else or anything?
Now, the only thing is, there's some things in here that maybe we can, I don't know where we discuss it in new business that I just wanna. Well, like, did we purchase the tree gators, things like that, so it's not commenting on the meeting
yeah.
minutes, but I have little question marks on a couple things that we said we were gonna do that I just wanted to see where we stand. Yeah. Second.
All in favor?
How we could talk.
So, okay, so I have just a couple of things. Laura, you were gonna check with the highway department to see if we could get a replacement tree or a credit from that one tree that died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you were gonna purchase some gator bags.
Yeah.
Okay,
I started researching them. I looked at the one that Amanda gave me, and then I looked at the ones that are like kind of free city, like type certified, and I could get 6 for $100 for the Tree City one. Versus a lot more of the other kind. But the thing about the other kind, when I was reading the reviews, is that it says that you pour the water in and it just comes out very fast. Like that's kind of the difference. So if you read a lot of reviews, so I was trying to decide if it was worth it or not, and then I forgot to go back. So I had a couple thoughts about it though. They do go around the bottom of the trunk, and so if we buy them, even if we buy the cheaper ones and they don't hold the water as well, they may actually incidentally, not intending to, protect the trunk from weed whack. I have a feeling, I didn't get a chance to talk to the highway about filling them, but I have a feeling that it'll be hard for them to be filled. So the question would be,
We do.
We have the money. I mean, like, and I know we said we should try, so I'm like happy to try, but do we want like 6 really quality ones that we try to use for watering, or do we want to buy like a lot more that may not be as good for watering, but might protect the tree from
I think a good
whacking?
quality, so
The good quality ones, because I was thinking with the 6 good quality ones, we could put 3 of them on the sycamore trees. And then there's 3 other trees I was thinking.
I, baseball field at Atlantic Park today. Just look at the elm trees, looking pretty good. And, yeah.
You all know that I told person that I know, I have to keep the person anonymous. Yes. But she loved the sycamores and been watering them on her own
Oh, it's here.
day.
By the town. Oh,
Yeah.
great, great.
So we have
Probably the
snake
reason
water.
that
Wow, oh, that's very,
She really thought, because I told her they were, not getting enough water, they weren't doing so good. And
That's like, it was,
took
it
it on
was something
herself.
like French Catskill. And she's the only person there who's not, she just on her own, she's been watering the trees, because she just thinks it's something.
Yeah.
The same thing, yeah, yeah.
Well, how do you have the water?
I don't know. I didn't get a chance to ask. I wanted to ask, but I couldn't ask at the time, but I will ask.
because I think we should, like, that was another thing with the Market 32. We're impressed with how, we should give them some recognition.
Yeah.
And
They
I
have
know
been
she wants to be
watering them.
anonymous, but we should give recognition to people who are going above and beyond with this stuff, and particularly Market 32, they should get some sort of, publicity on how well they're doing.
Down all of it.
They were literally watering them almost every morning when they were having that super heat. Yeah, I don't think a single one of them have died. That's amazing. They found them like right in the middle of the hottest part of the summer so far.
I
Yes.
think I saw a dead flower plant.
Oh,
Yeah,
but I mean, one out of all those perennials that they
Yeah.
planted too, it's like amazing.
Yeah, so, I mean, when businesses are doing well, we really should somehow get city in near Niskayuna or something,
I mean, maybe we could even just get the town board likes to do the ceremonials, like maybe we can ask for a ceremonial recognizing that they planted native things and helped with the pollinators and have been watering and taking care of them.
Yeah, they're a good steward,
Yeah.
community steward.
And take a photo of that and put it on the town's Facebook page for the caption.
Yeah.
So that she gets some limelight.
Yeah, they, I think, are
Hatches
really
pretty good
doing a
too,
good
right?
job. Who?
Hatches.
They planted ginkgos and a couple other things and they're all doing well. Yeah.
They've been very agreeable to everything you suggested, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Hatchet, yeah. So I don't know where it's going.
Oh.
But yeah, I just thought, I mean, that is kind of center part of town, Market 32, and they've done a very nice job, I think, better than the previous tenants.
Oh, 100%. It was just a battle
Yeah.
at ShopRite or anything. Yeah.
and if we do pictures of the planters at Co-op Plaza,
Oh, yeah.
so.
Just trees.
They're not trees, but they
They look
do look
nice.
nice.
So, and my shout out to the reading of the downtown.
Meeting
Just,
Start of it.
Yeah.
Start of the meeting.
Yeah, and my friend wanted to also point out that she thought the middle tree was kind of leaning
Oh, of the sycamores?
of the sycamore, yeah. So I don't know if that was something like you could put a
Maybe
couple spaces.
we could ask them.
Does the highway department have something that they can tow behind a pickup truck? That's full of water, the water buffalo, whatever you want to call it, with a hose where they can,
I think
Water.
there is a way for them to water because I've had this conversation with them, but I think it ends up being a time and crew type of
Right.
thing. They don't assign them to go around the water. I think, because Carol found some grants and stuff where we could get these big tanks that you can put in the back of pickup trucks that you can water with, and I share them in the highway department, and I felt like at the time, they said, well, we have something like that. It's like, but then why don't you water the trees? And then it was like, because we're patching potholes and
Yeah.
we're mowing the parks and we're doing this.
This is something also thinking about when we're at our conference. It's bad timing with the controversy that the town's having right now. And all these people are upset about the cost of the water stuff. But it seemed like if we could convince the town to put a town forester on, you know, a paid person in town position, even halftime, maybe share with Schenectady. Then that person's job would be to go around with this water buffalo and water all the trees and monitor the trees and it was it was great what you sent, there was that tree code of 1992, right? That if you follow that as well, we have to do something like that because we're not keeping up. So therefore something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in the, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
That is a current maintenance act, so,
is currently.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was adopted in 1992, but it still stands.
It seems like you can make the argument following a tree code.
Yeah.
We need to do something more proactive than we're doing. And so maybe it's at least a halftime forester position is one.
I think it is kind of trying to do some kind of presentation to the town for some PR material or something. I mean, that's the thing we can talk about is the budget and the investment we're having in the trees, so you don't wanna spend,
Right.
$3,000 planting these trees and then there's no water and then they all die.
Exactly.
And we have lost some, like, we've been pretty lucky, we haven't lost a lot, but we definitely lost some directly from not watering.
2 years ago, we didn't watch the sun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like, we had, the Rotary donated us a bunch of trees, at the end of Center Park, and I think they died twice,
Oh, yeah.
because they hadn't been watered. Which is just a shame, because people are trying to donate these beautiful trees to us, and they can't stay alive down there.
Yeah.
Just,
Where's that again?
Center in, where Craig School is off of River Road.
All right.
Right.
But where the Rotary donated all the trees
Yeah.
is actually in the Balltown Road parking lot, so like, Zenner stretches from Zenner Road all the way to Balltown, and on the Balltown Road side, there's a line of trees that they planted right along the parking lot. Really nice, different kinds of trees. Fadigans planted them for them. The members donated them. They died once because they didn't get watered, and Fadigans was willing to replace them at the end of the year again with trees that had sold. I drive by and I look at them every once in a while, and definitely a couple of them didn't make it through this heat again.
Those were just the comments I had that were discussion points from the meeting.
But I think
Yeah, so
maybe.
can we have like a full council meet with a full board? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe if we get that date set, that would give us some time and incentive to put together some materials to present to them. Yeah. If we do that, which is not a bad thing, as soon as you have more than a quorum of the tree council or a quorum of the town board, it has to be a public meeting, but that's okay. I mean, if we wanted to have kind of a joint tree council town board working session, we could advertise it and have an agenda and let anybody who wanted to attend. Sometimes town board meetings get a lot more scrutiny than our meetings, but
Yeah.
in that case, it could be good because then, people will be listening, so. And ideally, you'd want to have that before the budget, I would think, before. So I mean, ideally, you'd want to have it sometime in like September.
When do they do the budget?
They start doing the public hearings, but, so we, as department heads, have to get all of our asks in by the end of August. And then they process things, and then they start doing their public sessions like end of September, October.
How are we doing on our budget? Do we still have a lot left?
For this year, I'd say we're about halfway through. And I think, like we said, if we do some fall planting, the same way that we did the spring plantings, we may be able to even just have that actually clear out. And I don't think there's any proposed cuts to the budget, but I do think that the conversation that can be had, which you can see in the tree plan, is, I mean, again, it's more of a time thing than a money thing, even if they added more money in, but we're not planting as many trees as we're taking down.
Right.
So somehow we have to figure that out. It might need a slightly bigger budget, and it's going to need bigger time, resources, yeah,
And there are a lot of residents who are upset about the loss of trees.
yeah. So it is a complete street study, but I'm happy to send it to you guys. I watched this video from the city of Schenectady. They had been doing a complete street study for over 5 years, and they did massive outreach to a number of urban corridors in city of Schenectady, and presented the people who live in those corridors over and over again with different complete street treatments. And what they chose by over 60% every single time over bike lanes and anything was they wanted street trees. So when they were doing them, they're considered a complete street treatment because they're calming and they make the sidewalks
Yeah.
more usable and walkable. Their housing and their neighborhoods are so hot, and like 40% of them don't even have cars. So every single cross-section treatment that they proposed for these corridors includes street trees somehow, because so many people wanted street trees in their neighborhood. And it's funny because it's a complete street study, but they ended up choosing, when they were accommodating things, parking and street trees were the number one things that they were trying to accommodate. And then if they could fit a bigger sidewalk, they would. And if they could fit a bike lane. But
Wow.
the thing that people said to them over and over again is that if you can only fit one thing,
Yeah, yeah.
you need a street tree.
Oh, that's-
Yeah. I can send it to you guys. I mean, it's very interesting. It's a complete street study, but I was, listening to it for the trees, so. Well, I was listening to it for complete street trees, and stuff. Notice them. So yes, it's not just people in this unit asking for this
Right,
tree. It
right.
comes up over and over again. It comes up in our comprehensive plan. It comes up in the city of Schenectady. It's a reoccurring theme that we want to protect our urban forests. So.
Yeah. I guess we skipped right over you asking about privilege of the floor.
Oh, yes,
Oh, here's Leo. Okay.
Oh. Yeah, no worries.
You told us you'd be like. Okay, so I guess, other new business? I can,
Here's like big ups.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about whether we can have a meeting, council and town board. Make the case to do something. I was asking if we could actually take at least have some forest on the town employee list.
For that meeting, because when we did meet with Ray, he did kind of want to know how hard it would be to certify one of the guys. So we should still put together that, like, kind of list of what hours are needed and where the training can be and how much it costs. To see if we could train some of
Yeah.
your guys.
So my concern is, you made it sound like they're all so busy with all this other stuff. If there's someone whose sole job is forester,
Yeah,
that's all they're doing.
it's true.
Yeah,
I think it'd be better, honestly. I mean, I know it gets tricky to add a full-time employee, but it would be better to add a full-time employee that isn't arborist.
yeah.
And even if it's part-time, it's just.
Yeah, it's like that, Jerry. Sure, Schenectady or another town.
They all want one.
But
They all want one. Oh, and they had a guy in the staff, right?
They talked about that at the tree training.
someone from Round Lake, small town, this unit, and a forester from Saratoga Springs to show the scale difference. So here's a staff of people who are dedicated, they have the equipment and they do all the planting versus we're just a committee, a council, the largest towns. These little teeny Round Lake, they did like one or two people and all they could do is trimming. Mario was there. So. And Jeff was there, but I didn't see him. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't there the first day. He told me. All right, so we're talking about this tree master plan, the draft you passed around. I really liked it. You guys
There's,
did a great job.
it's, people would rather use paper than.
I got it. Got it.
So,
So it doesn't come out on the printed copies, but it should come out on your copies. It's the green and the blue were added between myself and the interns. I had 2 interns work on it. So one intern went and used the iTree tools, added the benefit of trees on page 6. Does actually have some graphs and stuff that we can add in that aren't fully added in. And then I had them add in a lot of the appendices. And I had him add in a little bit under, I think, kind of state of the Niskayuna urban forest. So we filled in the appendices with the codes and the definitions. The appendices still need the street tree master list, which isn't terrible to add, and possibly the National Grid list still needs to be added. And there is also, I think, an appendix. I think that's the only appendices that's left to be filled in.
There's some dates that.
So, and then I had started working on these notes. I've actually done even more than in here because I added in the height. I found what our height classes were on page 10 and I added in the height, and I've just been going through the comments and trying to update them. It's really close, and I feel like
Putting it under tree size is diameter, so you're gonna have a second, another numbered item being height. Or,
2 after diameter.
oh, okay.
One thing I did notice, I don't know if I want to do it or not. I think that I like all of the actions. We went through them really significantly. I think we're in pretty good shape. Is the only thing I was wondering is like, if we mention the neighborhoods and we mention how the neighborhoods are in the comprehensive plan and we put comprehensive plan neighborhoods in appendices, but we don't have any neighborhood specific recommendations. I didn't know if we wanted to do that or not. Like if we wanted to say, for instance, like Stanford Heights has the least tree cover in the neighborhoods, just like generalize about, Old Niskayuna has its own section, but Old Niskayuna has, the Silver Maples, the Grange neighborhood has a lot of our actual forest in town, and sort of because it has the Leisha Hill and it has the River Road Park. I didn't know if we wanted to like generally characterize the neighborhoods with what is currently kind of there, and if we had any specific recommendations for them. It almost have to be another section or something, and maybe because it's an overall thing, we don't need it. But we mentioned the neighborhoods a couple of times, and we don't like dive into them.
Didn't do anything about it.
It's okay, but it was just one thought I had.
Yeah.
Well, if you have any recommendations first, say yes.
For each of the
Yeah,
neighborhoods.
for each of the neighborhoods.
Yeah, we would have to come up with them. And I think our overall recommendations should apply, because our overall recommendations do want to target, you know, equity when we can and, you know, plant as much as we can and take care of the trees and diversify the trees, and all of those things are gonna work for all of the neighborhoods really, but I didn't know, because some of the data that like Steve does, like the urban forest tree canopy cover in Niskayuna, you know, it shows that Stanford Heights and a couple of the other ones are really low.
Where is that?
It's right. Well,
Yeah, right here, but I'm kind of.
Monica Heights, is that what it says?
Yeah, so Steve actually made a GIF layer of the comprehensive plan neighborhoods, and then he created a percent tree cover per the comprehensive plan neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I think that's as much as we dive down into them. It's just, we just have a graph.
That's that's by the Target area.
Yeah, it's because you have the massive parking
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
why.
like, I was wondering. As aren't pointed out, then that's gonna really distort some of the neighborhoods. Also, it seems like we're just mentioning it. There are these totally forested wild areas.
Yeah, there are some of the neighborhoods are much more
Yeah.
forested than the other ones.
Quite different than something, you know, the
Well, and the
streets.
other thing we could do is we could just leave it the way that it is and finalize the numbers, which I don't think will take that much longer. And then we can give the comprehensive plan specific recommendations about each neighborhood, because the comprehensive plan does do recommendations per neighborhood.
That makes sense. I just feel that we should get this out. This has been going on for like 6 years. Or more.
Maybe more.
It's probably more. It's never gotten out.
Who's this targeted to?
Um,
What are we, who's on?
The town board, the planning board, the highway department, but also residents if they want to read it too. And so we also didn't want to make it so technical that people couldn't read it. I mean, there was a big discussion on who this was really for.
Can we get it?
Mhm.
Top page 7, there's that. It says Niskayuna trees remove 4,018 pounds of CO. CO2. I think it's,
Oh, mine says CO2.
okay.
7?
Yeah, 7, top of page 7.
And then it says 150,000 pounds of O2, and I thought that's strange. I thought trees
O2.
released O2, not removed it.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I see where you're saying, sorry, it's a
The
little.
third bullet.
Third bullet.
Yeah,
Right.
that's-
Check the.
Well, maybe that's, could that be CO because it's removing the pollution,
Wait,
the air.
O2 isn't ozone. Right?
No, that'd be
no,
O3.
trees are-
O3, okay.
Yeah.
So that's not, O2 isn't greenhouse
so-
gas.
No.
I mean, O2 is released by tree.
And what
Yeah.
And it's a good thing to send that.
Maybe it's supposed
yeah,
to say
that's
that, so we should definitely fact check that.
Do we want to have a second meeting just to go over this with people?
Good.
You know, because there's a lot kind of information here.
So bullet on 7 talks about removing CO2. Third bullet talks about removing pollutants. I think that's CO.
Oh, it is supposed to be CO then possibly.
Right. Maybe the
It's
O2
I
three.
think it's supposed to be O3, because it's ozone. is different. But ozone isn't really cheap on you.
This isn't greenhouse gas, these are
Yeah.
pollutants.
Oh, those are just blues.
Yes, air pollution.
Is that?
That's what the PM 2.5 is, particularly now.
But I guess that came from the iTrees information.
Yeah, but maybe it was copied wrong.
We also don't explain what iTrees is,
Oh,
if you're new to this.
listed as a webpage, right? itreetools.org.
But I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. I don't think we can go through it all at the meeting here.
Oh, that's fine.
That's kind of the only thing on the agenda.
Oh,
It is.
okay.
When push comes to
It'd be good
shove.
if we all had time to actually,
Yeah, and make,
do it ourselves.
and then have a special meeting just to, because there's a lot of, like, still X's where we have to provide information.
Most of that is in the tree. It's in the tree, like the neighborhood examples, which I was able to get back into Fulcrum and pull the data down. So I should be able to fill all of that in.
But also, so this, as you guys saying, this started years ago, right? And Steve, had some extensive study done?
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean. It was like remote sensing. It was a remote sensing file, right? Sensing trees and stuff in Unit. And so then he took some of the results of their studying and put it in so that's like that's like this, and that's this. This is remote sensing of our tree cover.
That was kind of like separate versus doing the tree master plan. I think the tree master plan kind of came about with Chris.
Yeah,
You really wanted, I mean, we know we needed a tree master plan. And so these other things were being done, and because we had the information, we incorporated it into the plan.
yeah,
But we kind of wrote the plan from scratch,
we did
Yeah.
write it. from scratch.
Okay.
looking at other, yeah.
I guess I was wondering whether
Scratch.
there's stuff might be out of date. There was something talking about trees and talking about how many ash trees were there, and we've lost a lot of ash trees, right? At the beginning.
Like what we did with the tree planning committee, we just went through page by page.
Yeah, which we could do again.
Yeah, and the tree planning committee can be all of us, whoever wants to attend that meeting, but we all review it and then we go through and we just mark up page by page with. Cause I think we're close, right, Laura?
Page, I got it here, page, page 12. That's another one. And 13, thanks. Sorry. Based on inventory data, the oldest neighborhood that exists in.
Well, that, it may be a little old, but that I spent a decent amount of money on a couple interns in the summer and paid them to inventory the entire oldest unit.
Oh, yeah.
So without,
Redoing, yeah.
yeah, I mean, or a couple of us, I mean, I do have the Fulcrum data. I could probably sort it and
So-
just pull the points out for ash trees, and then a couple of us could go check and. Yeah, and they could very well have died between that, because I think it was done in. Yeah.
Maybe it's based on the inventory. See.
2019. Yeah, 2019.
This isn't 26.
This isn't really okay. You say based on the 2019 inventory.
Yeah, that's what we should say. But yeah, I would guess that a decent number of those ashes are gone.
Stunning.
Highway department, only know.
Another byproduct.
So.
So we are pretty trained.
He hasn't hit us in 5 years. Yeah. Yeah. 1930. So it was done 5 years ago. Yeah.
Before COVID.
It was done before COVID.
The trees, right?
Yeah, but we don't have like a map of them. We're just using that definition like to require developers and stuff to mark those on their subdivisions and things now. Yeah. We did try to determine that the trees on Hilltop and in Antwerp were trees of historic value, which the judge whom we were sued did not accept. So we didn't win that battle. But our definition of trees of significance is, we worked on that kind of separately, times long, but,
Just a general.
We
But
did a
yeah,
great tree
yeah.
hunt and we have the biggest trees in this, various species.
Oh, you?
Mhm.
What is that?
On the website,
Yeah.
was it?
It was a photo contest.
Oh yeah, and maybe we get your, because I think we should take some of the trees from our pictures from our photo contest. And start putting them in here too. Yeah.
Or if anybody takes beautiful pictures of neighborhood
Thinking
street
street.
trees. Or, yeah,
And I only had that one little newspaper
Yeah.
article,
Yeah,
but did we do anything with the elm tree planting with the elementary
the
schools?
chestnut trees, I saw
Chestnut
that and I was like, probably.
Yeah,
It's going to be at this point 5 or 6 years ago, so I have to go back through my phone and see if I can find them, but I think so.
did they use trees for?
I
they
think
they were all named. All kids named.
it was a really good promotion of chestnut trees for the kids anyway. Last I checked at Glencliff, there was still one that was still alive, but it was looking really ragged.
So if you're walking down your street and you see a nice row of trees, street trees, just take a picture.
Linda's trying to get the Girl Scouts to plant 2 chestnut trees.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Betsy wants flowering things,
Never mind then.
but I still want them planted, so I was going to ask Laura to help me find chestnut and maybe do it in there.
I think we should do slightly bigger chestnuts the next time you plant them. Small guys. Unless you really baby them, very hard to keep them alive. I know they all died on the center. I tried so hard to keep those guys alive. But one by one, they got mowed down or died.
Yeah.
Haven't got Amanda's friend. So-
Yeah.
Trees, like the various volunteer groups, adopt a tree and water.
They want 1 gallon or 5 gallons a week. All you need to do is fill up a gallon and take a walk. And that's 1 gallon for Monday.
I don't know if there are garden clubs or Rotary or stuff. Instead of buying new trees, maybe they can help us water the trees.
So we have a goal, like sort of saying maybe, don't we sort of an
Yeah,
goal?
adopt a tree. Trees that we choose to adopt as their.
I think the library has trouble keeping volunteers to do around their gardens.
People like trees though. I feel like there's something in our goals though that's kind of like, or maybe we should just add an adopt a tree program.
We have, I know.
Based on our council's goals, or is that just goals?
No, we worked on these goals for a long time. I think they're good though.
Yeah, I wonder where they came from.
Was a whole combination of what, we looked at a lot of other tree master plans from neighboring towns and cities too, and pulled some in from there that we thought were good, and then we had committee meetings, but then general tree council meetings on approving and adopting the goals.
Mhm. Yeah, so if you were asking if we've identified any trees of significance based on their age, size, rarity, aesthetic impact, or historic connections, we haven't done that yet. I do think we should at least start some kind of a list of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good idea.
Apple, it's gone.
yeah, and the big willow down at Lions Park is gone too.
Yeah.
Poor willows. Okay, so we want to schedule a meeting then, if you, and then if you can't make the meeting, you can just send me your comments and I can put them in a different color. And then we can look at all of them together. I'm around for the next 2 weeks and then the last week of August I'm gone.
Do we wanna do it during the day or like a Tuesday night or a Thursday, like next Thursday night, a week from now or something?
Yeah, I'll be gone next week. And then
Um,
it's the week of 19th. The week after, that's fine, but Laura said she's gonna be the 26th. It's a little bit what either, so I can do August 19th or anytime September.
Patients.
Yeah, so later in the week, give me time to go through this.
Start.
So I have a planning board, a town board, and then that's it. Yeah, I mean, I can never like fully know if I can do nighttime meetings because it depends on childcare, but theoretically I could do the 15th.
But you're
Right.
out next week, John.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're out next week.
What about the week of the 19th?
I've got
Zoning board on Wednesday.
something. Yeah.
Monday daytime. Pretty.
The Monday night time, maybe 2, possible. Might have to have Lily there with it.
Big contributions.
Oh, she probably won't pay any attention at all, but possibly the evening of the 19th. If that works.
Yeah. And that would give us a little over a week to really go through it.
So this is just for comments on.
And if you can't make that, you can send me your comments.
Yeah, 'cause I won't-
Yeah, and if you just have a note, and note of them in a Word document or whatever. Yeah. you can send.
Do you have your original comments now? Because you did send some, which I think I have some.
Might have somewhere.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
What time? 6, 5:30 or? Six.
Tuesday.
What's your daycare that week?
I don't think my dad's home, like Lily will have to come.
No, I mean, what camp is Lily in that week?
Oh, she's in Glendale, so 5:30 is fine.
So we want to do 5:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let's, those of us that can try to work in that. Talk to them. For the final plan, final draft.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so should we do reports? The GEDAC building, you told us about that last time.
Still don't have a revised
Okay.
landscaping plan. I thought we'd have it by this meeting, but we do not, so that'll probably be next meeting. And then also just to give you guys a sense if you wanted to drive by or not, there's 2 two-lot subdivisions that may or may not make it all the way to the tree council because neither of them meets code, so they need substantial like review and approvals, but what is the address of Pierce Road there?
So
929 Pierce Road. I can send them to you. 929 Pierce Road and then kind of the bottom of Palmer, they both want to do some subdividing. Palmer is a double lot down near Union Street. So just keeping them in mind. We don't have any tests for them yet. I can send you guys the sketch plan. It's pretty small and I'm sure that it has trees on it.
It's wooded. It's the only one where the houses are far apart.
If you, house, then there's yard, and then house, and that yard. Yeah. So those ones, I don't feel like we need to spend too much time on it in case they don't get approved, but if they do get their variances from the zoning boards, I think they both have a decent amount of trees that we would wanna come up with a plan for. For public outreach on the trainings, I reached out to Tyler and he's pretty busy. I think summer is probably bad for him. I've been having a hard time getting him.
Is Tyler the one that used to for Nick?
Oh, maybe he could be.
Cause he
Who's Tyler?
So Tyler is the DEC urban forester assigned to our, whatever you call that territory, DEC territory. They have a different word than territory, but region. DEC region 4 urban forester. Okay, thanks, Linda. So the addresses to look at are 929 Pierce Road and 1045 Tom. I'll keep working on him. I have a feeling we're probably not gonna get him until like fall.
But if it's the person I'm thinking of, which may not be, Nick Gonzak, who's, head of the Schenectady, he had this guy Tyler who worked with him, who took another job
It probably looks the same.
and who was very good.
He is very good.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Very nice. He was trying to help me actually for the tree council master plan. So I'm fairly certain that we got certified as a tree city in 1992 when we adopted the tree code, but we're only 20 years certified. So I know that it must have been on and off for a certain number of years. And I would love to list the years that we were a tree city, and there were gaps because there were times when the town didn't have a tree council. It went up and down sometimes. And Tyler was trying to figure out the years for me.
Well, and had the Arbor Day
I
contact?
have emailed them a million times. I have no phone number, which I'm
Oh,
much,
I think I do.
do
And
you?
a woman.
Because I'm much happier to do calls. I've just been emailing the Arbor Day Tree City general email address.
Yeah,
And I've emailed them multiple times for over a year
okay.
and they've never gotten the dates back.
No, there's somebody that I talked to there who knew,
The dates?
yeah,
Yeah, because I feel like they can probably just open up their spreadsheet. They're the ones that are keeping track of it.
right.
Tyler couldn't figure it out and I can't get them to respond.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't know if we wanted to emphasize that we had missed some years.
Yeah,
Because I think they were like, well, you're a member since whatever, and they didn't seem to really care.
the 1992, because I can't even see what the first year is.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's 1992.
I'll go back.
But it was 1992. Yeah, we're missing like 10 years of not being certified. I feel like in some ways it's kind of nice to show that you're not guaranteed to get certified, that you have to work to get certified and you don't always make it. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but still. We have been certified ever since we restarted the tree council,
Yeah.
2015.
Address it from again.
1045.
So
You'll,
what
you'll just notice there's one spot that's sort of missing a house,
Yeah.
but I think there is a big tree there.
Down that street a lot.
Oh,
Easiest way to get to you. Yeah.
but with the trainings, there was also that,
Trainings are they? So Tyler's gonna do a training on how to take care of a tree and best practices for taking care of the tree in your yard. And then he's also gonna throw in some invasive species like emerald ash borer and the hemlock woolly adelgid. He's actually building the training just for us.
And who we're gonna give it to?
So usually we open it up to the public and we do it at night and they tend to be very well attended. Like we had a spongy
Spongy
one,
one was very.
packed. We've had
That's the email last one.
yeah, that was when the email blast works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the managing your lawn was packed, the composting class have been very good. So people do seem to like to come at night for free classes about things.
There's also that woman that came to the Arbor Day with the urban forestry. Who also was helping with this conference, Amy. Can she do that? She seems to be.
If she has one, like canned training that she that she'd be happy to do, we can pretty much schedule her anytime, like people will come. Tyler's building one specific, like kind of specifically for us, but I think he's busy right now.
But you know, I think if we had the public, Miss Hannah, that tree thing of the shows for the town of Miss Una, is that it?
Yeah, even if we, yeah.
But with the data, with the.
Bookmark.
the
Oh, yeah, I was
bookmark,
pulling
yeah,
that up.
Yeah, I think that would be very interesting for the residents to see.
We could do a talk on the benefit of trees. I think that that would be helpful in a couple ways. We talked about this last meeting, like Chet might be able to help us. Is in one thing, we need to do more material selling. We need to get more people behind that we
Yeah.
need them. So if we're having a joint tree council and town board meeting, we kind of need to put those materials together anyway. And then it certainly wouldn't hurt to do a nighttime presentation of them to the public. Yeah,
Have the benefits of trees pamphlets to
yeah,
give out.
and people could just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because we still have a number of those. And we know from Arbor Day that tree things will definitely get people to come.
Weren't we also gonna look up trainings for the highway department?
Yes, I do, yes. I still have not done that, but I think we should look up and give them options for,
Yeah, I think you requested that at that meeting we had with them.
Mhm.
So will you do that, or do you want? Look up?
I,
Schenectady Community College or Hudson Valley or somebody has a program. Forestry,
it's got to be, I mean, the only credentials that I know very well are the ISA, the arborist, certified arborist.
Well,
But there
what
might
was
be
he
other
looking
credentials.
for? Like, what sort of training would be beneficial for the highway department?
I mean, but even just regular old like tree pruning classes and tree care and planting classes, any of those things, even if it doesn't create a certification, it would be nice if some of those guys could go. Yes,
I wonder
I feel like we
if
could volunteer tree maintenance.
I wonder if Paul Smith has any remote. And Paul Smith must have that, right?
You do have some online ones that you were gonna send in.
Maybe at the time we could look again.
Yeah, didn't you send out all these online classes?
So I sent out a bunch of
Which we didn't look at.
videos.
Yeah,
Yes, I did find a bunch of videos that I liked,
yeah.
mostly from like the Arbor Day Foundation and yeah, I do have an email of a bunch of videos I like, but I was actually sending those out to you guys. But I mean, they're not terribly long. Like they're not classes that like fact check that you're listening to them, but they do have really good concise ways of handling like the pruning and the.
Yeah, because does the highway department need a certain number of training credits or anything?
And I think that computers can be challenging for them sometimes. I think they often respond better to a human being that they relate to, being in the field with them and helping them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I think the arborist, like having an arborist on the staff, which is one of the guys, which knows what they do day in, day out.
Yeah.
Which knows, you know, really know and whatever could really help.
You want to reach out to Amy?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, well, we've already talked about the tree inventory, tree master plan. That brings us to the fall plantings.
I could coordinate with Jeff. I actually think we should probably get started on the fall thing when
Yeah.
he gets back.
I think it's soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we should probably explain to the new members that we do have these 3 subcommittees. And you could join any all subcommittees or all of them, in addition to the council. Yeah,
planting.
yeah. They all confuse people.
Tree planting subcommittee, in addition to, working on the fall plantings, it has the task of like kind of reviewing the tree planting master list and making sure that the species on there are right, which we haven't done yet. But, yeah, there's still some valuable work to be done. The tree planting one goes out to people's yards and works on the, I've been working with the highway department this spring, it worked well. Public outreach works really, really hard for Arbor Day. And then the tree inventory, the tree master plan, right now is working very hard on the master plan. If we get that adopted, I think it'll go back to kind of more of a tree inventory. And then we'd be looking at grants and things to get the full inventory of our town.
Speaking of going back to outreach, we put away the idea of the photo contest for a while, but it's webpage could be, should we think of another photo contest?
Because now we
Yes.
all
Yeah, right.
place photos and it's not gonna be hard for them,
Right, so-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a good idea. We need Amy here. Amy, when it keeps coming with these photo ideas. Amy,
Oh,
like that.
How was the email last when we sent this? Is it getting better?
I don't know. I'm signed up, I'm getting. a lot of
Incrementally better.
emails, But I
I
don't
get the
have any
emails
people
now, but you
on
still
this.
do not. Because John and I were talking.
Yeah.
It took a long time though for me to get the emails. Or do you get them now? Did you check your spam?
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, we can see and we'll see it.
I could try signing up again.
We'll talk to Aaron and see
Yeah.
how many names are on the list.
Yeah. that would be-
Can't they you put a better like swag on it?
You know, it isn't.
It's
No
almost like
reply.
no replies. I mean, that's the sender.
It's true, and then it's just one line.
Yeah. You look
It
down,
doesn't, like before when we did an email blast, you'd actually get the email with
Yeah.
the pictures and the text in the
Yeah.
email. So you didn't have to click and go to the town website. But now it's just a link and you click the link and go to the town website.
Yeah.
and view it.
it's the right title and the link would be more.
Right,
helpful than-
right. There's no
Gibberish.
reply.
Yeah.
You make it spam.
What
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
getting into.
Yes.
I think it also does go to your spam. That's why I asked you that.
Yeah.
Because it can look like it's not a normal sender.
And the text messages, just some number.
Oh, I don't
Like
get
a
the text
phone
messages
message.
still.
I get the text messages. I actually get like double and sometimes triple on the same.
Me too.
text
I know all
message.
the announcements.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't say like, you know.
So incrementally better.
But we can't rely on it.
Yeah, but I don't know how else to get, that's how we got all of our.
There was like a bazillion people for National Night Out though. Like maybe it's starting to work better.
Facebook,
Yeah.
I think, helps.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a term.
Yeah, it's an email that goes out and when I get it, it's a link and then I have to click the link and it'll tell me what's going on in the town. It's this town news or something.
but you have to sign up to be on the list.
Yeah.
And then you have to verify and then you have to choose what you're doing or something. It's very hard.
It's not a click and go,
Yeah.
which the old one was.
Right.
You have to respond and
Went to the town webpage where I find the place to sign up, maybe try signing up again.
Just go www.mixina.org and then there'll be a little pop-up at the bottom of the screen.
it comes up all the time.
Sign up to receive news and announcements.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's a multiple clicking process.
Laura, is there a goal for the fall plantings that you're going to plant 20 trees this fall or 10 or 30? Is there
Yeah,
a
so,
number?
what was the number that Raiden wants to go over?
5.
But we did go over
No,
it.
20. What?
No, we went over by
19,
two.
19.
Oh.
Meant to 20.
So,
Well, but the 19 is only because I said 20.
I know, but we actually did go over what he wanted us, he only gave us 5 stakes and we ended up planting 7 trees.
Yes,
So
okay.
I think our goal for the fall would be, I would hope at least like, I would hope at least 10 to 14 more. And then, we're also getting elm. So,
Oh, we don't know where we're planting.
no, we gotta figure out where we wanna put those, but we put those usually in our parks. If we were to put them as street trees for people, that would be okay. They can be street trees for people, but they're bare root, so we would have to do the outreach to the people and make sure that they're watering
And
them.
weren't we kind of considering some along that, I know, the
Yeah.
hillside, but along
Hillside,
Commerce?
yes, we were.
So we could put some there.
We could put them there.
Does Jeff lead the planting committee?
Yes.
All right, well, I mean, I'm happy to help Jeff this fall and get some trees in the ground, whether I'm digging the hole or not.
It's mostly
No.
talking to the people.
I'm happy to do
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy to do that. And-
Yeah.
Ray's group does the planting.
Yeah,
And he says he could plant 5 trees in a morning
okay.
or
No,
In a
a
session.
day.
a day.
He didn't even plant 5 trees in a day, though. But maybe it was because it's very hot. 5 trees. He wants us to do chunks of 5.
Yeah, no, and I'm totally agree with that, and I can work with Jeff and find that place and stake him out and turn Ray and his guys loose and, but I mean, we would be able to get. Basically,
Yeah, if we start now, and it took us about maybe 3 weeks to do it. So if we start now, they won't be planting them until September, and then
Immediately
and then
start, yeah.
October. So yeah, I
Right.
definitely think we should start another round.
So tell me how I,
Yeah, so Jeff, when he comes back, we could just do an email. We just have to pick the next set of trees on the tree planting list. And then just start to get stakes and pick times to go out and knock on people's doors.
all right,
Yeah, and just so you know, so the tree planting, Jeff is the subcommittee chair
okay.
and Leo was
Yeah.
on it. So
Okay,
those are the only two on the tree planting.
Cheers.
Public outreach, I'm the committee chair and it's Amanda, John, and Amy. So there's 4 of us on that. The tree inventory and tree master plan,
Thanks to see you and Amanda.
yeah. But the chairman usually was on all subcommittees.
I noticed you said used to be.
Because I kind of got, I was not originally on that tree master plan.
No, you got sucked into that because there's no one else. Yeah.
So,
All right.
so anyways, those are the various committees. So, and who's on,
So,
but feel free to join several, so.
okay.
Okay, well, I just got a text message saying I've now subscribed to the. Oh. The following notification is concerned.
I think that's all you need to do though.
He has to click a link in that email.
Oh yeah, that is not confirmed. Even that's what my, I know, it's not though. You have to confirm through your email.
Oh, it's my email.
Yeah,
Ah.
because that happened to me a couple times. Sorry, off topic. So, okay, so if you just, yeah, if you want to start an email chain with Jeff and say that you're, ready to help start with the fall plantings. And he'll be ready. He likes doing that. He's very good at it.
There's a letter that he brings to tell people what trees we have available.
Yeah.
And it's the story. If they're not home, he leaves it at a couple houses and moves on.
And then we created a watering guide that people,
So you have some neighborhoods targeted or already for this?
We got a list from the highway department of what trees they took down in the plants.
when people request them and the date. So we were trying to pick like, to make it easier for them, we were trying to pick areas that were pretty close together and were a group of older dates. Like, it doesn't mean that we didn't hit somebody that just got their tree taken down, but like, hopefully the whole the whole part of the group, like on the older side. So
And then once he hit like 3 or 4 people he talked to and left 2 or 3 letters, then he stopped.
waited.
Figured that we would get 7 trees, 5 to 7 trees at that time.
Does the town go to the nursery, or does the nursery deliver the trees to Ray?
We can go to the nursery. We have a really friendly lady there that I trust for picking out good trees for us. And so I can also give her a list because we have a list of trees for people to choose from. And so this last time I didn't go to the nursery, I had her choose trees for me.
Is that list online? Is it under the tree
It's
council?
in the letter. I can send you the letter.
I just think and I'm thinking of myself, and when I look at the pie chart and it says that 75% of our trees are maple, we need to be encouraging the public, hey, plant a tree, anything but a maple.
We tried.
and-
We still did. We tried. We did still plant a maple though.
My oak fence, we had a maple.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against me. I'm
No,
not saying
no,
we're
no,
trying to
no.
diversify the trees. We've got to encourage them to look at some other things. But we need to be able to educate them and say, this is what a chestnut tree looks like, and this is what a birch tree looks like. And this,
They don't have what color, is that why they?
No, so like I've got 3 trees going in on Hilltop, paid for by the developer, working with the homeowners, tried to get them to do something besides the maple. They said they really wanted maples. So I compromised and I got them 2 maples and an oak and I sent them the quote and they said, can we change the oak to a maple?
some people have their hearts and I understand because they very quickly in the fall. I get it.
I don't know. It was a red oak. So like the red oaks have the pretty fall colors, like the red oaks turn very red and they're very pretty in the fall. I gave them all fall coloring things and they still didn't want the oak.
Were any of the region trees planted on the power lines?
No. But it is interesting too, because we were trying to encourage, even on Regent, we were trying to encourage people to do the bigger trees. Margaret would take an oak, another guy wanted the Tupelo, and there wasn't, I think, one red maple, but, most people will choose the small flowering trees. So we've learned this on Arbor Day too, like,
Yeah.
no matter how we push the shade trees, when push comes to shove, they want the redbud in their yard or the dogwood, and, it's really hard to get them to choose the shade trees.
So we can't go to National Grid and get a credit for
And the hard thing is, we want them to like the tree, like, we want them to have a stake in it, we want them to choose it and be, like, involved in the planting of the tree. So if their, like, heart is set on a dogwood, we generally speaking said yes, even though they're also more expensive than shade trees. The dogwoods
Linda brought
are
up a good
expensive.
point. If we can plant under the power lines, we get the credit from National.
Yeah,
Grid.
$50.
Yeah.
But on the first
Planting
bunch
small
we planted, none of them
What?
qualified.
Planting small trees.
Well, if you planted bigger ones, yeah, small trees, I mean, if it costs more than 50, then we reimburse for 50. So they were trees and they want, so they have a list of approved trees. They have a.
That's what,
Just like.
no, they reimburse the, permits, like, yeah.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, by basis, that would work.
It's been a lot.
A line or something under the tree in the same place, because you have to send the planting plan to the National Grid to get approved. Then you plant it, then they'll reimburse you.
Like Dean Street.
Dean Street was reimbursed and, Cornelius was reimbursed. The ones that were planted on the power lines. Yes, that's always a good thing, so. Okay, so,
One thing to keep in mind, I've been babysitting lately and going out to parks, our Michigan parks. It is like a nightmare hot. There's not a bit of shade anywhere. And the Blatnick Park, little splash park, spent many hours in. There's one bench with shade and it is booked. First, I've never been able to get it. So can't we plant trees around some of
Yeah.
this shit?
That'd be good.
The parents, not to mention the kids, but really,
We can, and we also have had interest in like a memorial tree program, which I believe Amy Yawanski actually drafted a plan. It does have some issues though, whereas like if the trees die and it's a memorial tree and Scotia had it and then they filled up their park and discontinued it because so many people wanted to plant a
Yeah, I
memorial
mean,
tree.
I planted trees for my mom in Scotia.
Yeah.
That's what, and it was a very good program and mine did die and they did replace it for free. And they take care of them, but
Yeah.
that's the thing, they
They-
take care of them
They
and
take care.
maintain them, and if Niskayuna is not gonna do that.
And why have a memorial
Yeah.
tree program? But the thing that you can do is if you can get the highway department or the parks department to really start taking care of these trees, a memorial tree program, you can definitely,
I think it's great.
people just
Yeah.
like to do it. Like they want to have a tree. It's a
Yeah.
great way to honor a loved
Yeah,
one.
there's
They
a nice
come there.
plaque, yeah, if you go to Collins Park, there's a whole walk.
And they have all kinds of cool trees. They're all
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Very cool. So it's a possibility, even if we don't have the money to be filling up, well, I'm not filling up our parks because some people like the space, but at least putting around playgrounds, along the paths. You can still go out in the field if you need to, but at least you have shade for your comfortability of walking. It kind of goes back to City of Schenectady, like you just need a covered, shady, cooler
Yeah.
place to walk and
Well,
sit
we
and
could put some
live.
more of our elm trees around
Yeah.
it.
Those elm trees are really coming.
what's the story with that?
Many years ago, the comptroller saw extra money in the budget. We found from the,
He ordered like 100 disease-resistant elm trees in a program where you pay to grow. So,
Yeah, go.
yeah, so like 5 years ago, we ordered 30 elm trees and they grow them for you. And then last year, they were supposed to deliver them, but they felt like they were still too small. So they're hoping that they put on good growth this year and then we get them in this fall.
Was
They're
this the
very,
last year? that we
this
did?
is the last year.
Okay, so we planted like 60 of them, right?
Mhm.
yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
he highly recommends that we buy the next chunk. So we will continue to plant in the next budget years.
Yeah. The
That program is still running.
comptroller's office doesn't love that program though, because we're holding POs open for like 5 years, but. But yeah,
The new
Where have
comptroller.
we planted so far?
so,
If you go to Blackneck Park in the baseball field at West Blackneck Park, just beyond the fence, there's 2 rows of trees that are parallel to the fence. Those, we planted those.
so there's a line of them, which they're still small, and I noticed a couple of them got mowed, but there's a line of them on Aqueduct Park. Like over between the rowing club shed and like the new River Sledge Park along the fence. And then there are some at the senior center, the parking lot that's up on the hill. They lost a bunch of oaks, and like right along the side where the oaks were gone, there's some of them there too. Which last time I went, those guys were doing okay. The ones I think that have struggled the most are the ones at Aqueduct Park. I noticed at least 2 of those ones, maybe 3 are gone. Whereas I don't think we lost a single one at Blackneck.
Yeah. Trees tall.
Yeah.
Strong, healthy.
We should check and see if they're getting weed whacked.
Your person having getting close to the school.
I found the trees that you mentioned in Blackneck Park by the parking lot, too
Oh, okay.
scraggly looking, and I dumped buckets of water on them. But I learned my lesson pretty quickly. These were 5-gallon buckets of, from Lowe's and just wrestling it out of the trunk of the car and pouring it and stepping over the fence and, but I did something. I don't know if they're gonna make it. There's like dead branches, but then there's some leaves popping out at the lower part of the tree, so
that
it's
the
still
hackberry?
alive, but it's
I don't know which one is.
right when you go past the splash pad and turn into the little parking lot right there. And beyond that is the major baseball field, but right in that little parking lot, right next to the corner is 2.
By the charging
Those are
station.
hackberry trees, yeah.
They
We
were,
did,
you said they were in tough shape,
Yeah,
so I
they
looked at them and they were in tough shape.
Yeah,
Well,
and hackberries are cool. They get big and they keep wildlife I'm really glad you wanted them. Those trees at school.
I need to figure out something where I can put some kind of tank in the back trunk of the car, stick the hose in it, fill it up, and then go out and back my car next to something, pull a hose out of this thing and water it. And that's why I asked the question. I mean, I don't think I want to get into towing something behind my car. I'd have to get, various approvals for that. But I mean, again, how else are you gonna get things watered? And the town, I understand the town is incredibly busy. These guys are doing a million things. But, right, once you plant the tree, you don't water it. It's not gonna make
We're
it.
losing a lot of money.
It's true. This is why we need to have the meeting with the town board, like. Cause you almost don't want to water them if they're gonna die. It's like a life. It's like a life that
I
you're
like
putting
the
in
adopted
jeopardy.
tree thing. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can get somebody who lives nearby and on their morning walk, dump a gallon of water on it, it's a start. It's something.
We used to have a camping tub that had a handle. It was 5 gallon or 3 gallon water jug, which had a little chute on the end. It's like, I'm gonna get that and fill that up.
Well, that's what
I think,
Heavy.
I think they
No,
stopped
I
a couple of years ago.
I don't know if
You don't
had,
have
like
it anymore.
gallon jugs, like milk jugs or something.
Because Ellen, when she was watering the plant that we transplanted from Cubs Farm, she was like filling up coolers in the back of her truck. And then I think she was filling up a water can from the coolers and then
Spinning
walking
them
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how Ellen was doing it, but it was a lot. I think she had 2 coolers in the back of her car. She filled them up with hoses, pulled them out to the back of her truck, and then
Yeah, we need
Most
more
of the trees are in front of someone's house.
I know it. Yeah,
And it'd be weird to have someone adopt a tree that's in front of someone else's house.
yeah.
But we don't want to burden the owner and say, oh, you want a tree? Oh, you're gonna have to water it regularly.
Yeah, no. I think we're trying to get the people in.
Yes.
When they get a tree, the people who live in front of it are they are supposed to be taking
But
care
you
of.
know, like, you have to adopt a highway and somebody take it. Or,
Yeah.
you know, that little triangle corner there on the corner of Bow Town and River, there used to be plants there and somebody.
Rotary has that,
Rotary,
yep.
yeah.
We still have it.
I don't know.
Yeah. The park trees, like adapting some of the areas of the.
There's all these ideas of every trees and stuff are great ideas, but if, who wants to do it if they're not gonna get watered?
It's true.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard, you know, if you have a memorial tree and it's not being taken care of, that's also hurtful. So you really have to be dedicated to, well, you're gonna do this.
So. I keep thinking. Right next to the high school.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there a class there, horticulture class, something students?
They have a club.
There's a goal. You,
Well,
There
I
is a
mean,
club.
you've got these young people,
Yeah.
right, strong, smart, enthusiastic, want to help. Here's a little community service project. And again, I don't know what it looks like, but
The court system downstairs gives hands on community service to delinquents.
I like that.
But you need someone to escort them around who has the water tank. They're delinquents, they might not have cards. Or delinquents might be bad word, but
I got you.
Community service
yeah.
things, yeah.
Yeah,
Seems like the physical watering tank is the stumbling block, you know, that way to get the water to the whatever. Whether it's a bus or-
RV.
It seems to me that the town somehow has to plan to do this. If they're gonna be trees, part of it is watering them and taking care of them. I mean,
That's why I think we need to do the outreach. Like,
Yeah.
we need to do the materials, like, just assume that, you know, the idea of trees is fine, but the nuts and bolts are just foreign. And so we just, you know, gotta get the basic information out there, gotta get the why, gotta get the, the numbers,
Mhm.
the data, so that
Exactly.
it doesn't feel like just an
Yeah.
emotional plea to save the
Right.
trees. For some reason, even though I feel like that should go over well, it does not. So you really have to do the numbers and and I think, like having the tree plant master plan done, like doing a presentation to the town board on that, working on the budget, so just getting into just
Yeah,
getting into that world and injecting it with a little bit of, there's more to do.
And the highway
Who
department
happens in-
had that one person who kind of really,
Yeah,
Mike, did he also water the trees?
I don't know, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Okay.
I'm a little hesitant on having it as a public meeting between us and the town board. I mean,
Then you can't have a forum.
mhm.
There's
With
no
the-
way you can't have discussion with them, like, that involves with more than two of them at a time.
So any number of twos is a quorum.
Cause they're five.
of the town board.
Mhm.
So they, if like we didn't have a quorum, but they had a quorum.
Yeah, but the economic development committee meeting, like we talked, like maybe originally, like I think Carol was gonna start to try and come to some of the committee meetings and have like a tree council reporting section. Like you could still do that. That's a regular meeting where you have 2 to 3 town board people already on their schedule. They're monthly, like you always welcome to come. I think at that time we were trying to get you on the highway agenda. Regularly, but you could always come to the economic development committee meeting too.
What is it about an open meeting that you're nervous about?
Well, no, I guess, I don't want it to get derailed. I kind of wanted it focused with the town board, them knowing our concerns. I'm not sure at that same point, we want the whole public to know the concerns. I guess that's okay, but,
But there's an opportunity to also educate the public, those that are there.
right,
And that's
right.
about it. It might get some people showing up who are pro trees to begin with, want the trees, those that are not. So we'll make the case to why, we'll try to make the case to the town board.
Right.
Someone else who's there will hear the same.
That would influence that.
Yeah.
Positively. Be held accountable. The
Yeah.
public here.
You can always present the data as, we're doing good, but here's a way to
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah.
We're ethically failing.
And with climate change, it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, and these are the reasons why we want to start planning now, and these are the things we hear from people when we're on the streets, and these are the resources that we found from the DEC and from our partner sister cities and all these different places, and here's where we do good, and here's where we can do better. So, not implying that we are a total disaster. I actually think we do pretty good. Hopefully, that came across at Tree City.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did.
it did, yeah.
Yeah, but we definitely have places we could do better.
Does Ray's number tell how many he planted versus how many he had to replace because of the trees died that he just didn't?
Yeah, it's just,
There's no difference in replacing or planting. There's just a trees removed and trees planted number.
okay, so we can't show how many are dying. That we've planted in the past couple of years.
And he's replacing those trees.
Well,
Like the Zener,
Oh, we-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that they're not
No.
getting watered and so.
We
you
don't
know,
keep
like,
track of,
This death rate.
No, we don't keep track of that tree we bought 2 years ago and now we're buying another one, but it has happened. But we don't have a way, we don't keep track.
I remember, when I did for 2 years and we planted the same tree.
Yeah, well, I think, putting together materials and getting a case ready would be, really good. And maybe that can be part of rolling out the master plan, I don't know, but
Well, so how should we do that? Like, when should that meeting be in? I mean.
I was
are you
just
taking
gonna-
that on?
I'm sorry.
Or like, who's taking that on?
I was gonna ask them what they thought about a joint working session with the tree council and see if they could give us some times. And a schedule. And then if they're like, I don't really want to do a joint working session, then you can say, well, what could you do? And then if they give us that date, we have to get our butt in gears with some of our, with some of the material that we want to bring. Yeah,
There's nothing else we need a liaison, like, ever since, was it, one person would always present, was it Rosemary?
Rosemary.
Since we lost that, she never presents. Nobody presents about our council to the town
I'll
board.
going committee.
Yeah,
I already present to what the tree council up to do at every economic development committee. The tree council has a standing spot on the meeting. And like the chair would always be welcome to come and present to tree council rather than me. There's no problem with that at all. Any of the chairs can come, but yeah, the highway committee, I think, no longer has an agenda as a tree council. But I do think that, like, it was brought up more at the committee meetings. They reported positively about this new regent planting, my understanding of the meetings. And so, I mean, it hasn't been going downhill as far as I can tell. It's been okay.
So the next step is to find a time with the,
If they'd be willing to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I'll call it like a joint working session. That may be a morning meeting. Whoever can come. Yeah. It's unlikely to get all five of them, but we need as many as we can.
so we don't have any liaison, wasn't, is it Bill McCartney?
Bill McPartland was the head of, yeah, I think he still is. So, yeah, Bill McPartland is the head of the highway and committee. And we did have a meeting with him a year or two ago where he said, I'll definitely protect the budget for you guys, but
Mhm.
like, I don't think the budget is much of an issue. It's the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna meet in 2 weeks to talk about the master plan. And Laura's gonna look into seeing when we can have a meeting with the town board. And reach out to you.
And Leo and all of my assistants on the plane. Leo, they're gonna knock it out of the park.
Try to think of some photo contest ideas we're going.
I'll see if we can get recognition to Market 32 on their landscape.
Right, yeah.
maybe I shouldn't bring this up, but at the beginning of the year, we had goals. Should be looking at the point. in time.
We adopted them. Yeah,
I know, but we should look at them maybe.
yeah, I can,
Just see
put those,
how we're
I'll
doing.
put those on the next, that'd be a good, like, gut check. Put them on the next agenda.
Quick question. I saw there's some, so Union has a social page. Somebody was written today and said, your tree has been attacked by Livia diligence. Any suggestions?
Yeah, I asked that question at the very beginning before getting started, and their answer was call an arborist. From Davy Trees, for example.
I do know of a homeowner in this unit who did call, I think it was Davis, and treated a whole hedgerow.
They're not,
And oh, did she?
So
Okay.
I replied to Teresa saying that, and the Alaska Tree Council said, oh, well then, let me tell you about something else. And my next door neighbors, they lost 3 street trees several years ago, and they have not been replaced.
oh.
I said, yeah, we learned about that, and we're trying to solve that problem. That's,
Street do they live on?
yeah, is it, you know, the end of Myron, is that Salem?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah. Okay. Second. All in favor? Okay.
Jeff is a botanist. He knows what he's talking about.